A lot of senior product managers are stuck in the job right now. Many of them already have years of product management experience. But they're frequently doing something repetitive, very boring, and less than 5% of senior product manager was able to get promoted as a product leader or director or even VP level. Especially in today's job market, most senior product manager doesn't even understand what hiring manager is looking for as a product leader or director candidates. In this episode, we had a pleasure to invite Hari Ramadasu, and he's a product leader with over 15 years of experience. He's going to share with you all the insight regarding what to do to become a product lead and director product in your current job and what the hiring manager is looking for when selecting the next product leader role. Hey guys, this is Dr. Nancy Lee, a direct product featured in Forbes. I've helped thousands of people land a dream PM job offer in FAANG companies, a unicorn startup, and continue to get promoted as a product leader. In this channel, we'll talk about tech trends and free product management training. Like and subscribe. Check out our new video every Tuesday. Hari, welcome to Product Insider Podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Hi, Nancy. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
Yeah, I'm very excited to have you over because you represent a very important demographic of my audience who are product leader. We do have a lot of higher demand nowadays regarding my content and creating more content for product leaders, senior product manager, even directors, because a lot of them actually are stuck in the job right now. As we know, currently all the job market, all the tariffs going on. And so companies start being very cautious regarding who they promote, who they hire as a product leader, and create very strategic initiative within the company. And you have been working for several Fortune 500 companies as a product leader. And if I understand you correctly, you're already working as a product lead at AT&T and Intel with over 15 years experience. And I believe you have so much knowledge you can share with others regarding how to actually become a product lead.
That's right, Nancy. I'm working as a lead product management and development. That's what the title goes at AT&T.
Mhm.
I own the product that's called SD-WAN with Aruba.
So, Hari, why don't you quickly introduce yourself to our audience so let people see your journey right now?
Sure, Nancy. I'm working as a product and lead product management and development at AT&T as on today. I understand the market has changed quite a bit, and I've been in product manager roles at Intel. I worked for Intel for about 12 to 13 years. The market today is quite different, the job market especially. Yeah, a lot of product managers are stuck where they are in their roles, and I'm so excited to share how to navigate the troubled waters and find a path forward.
Hari, before we dive into all the details how to become a senior leader, and I also want to understand where you're actually coming from. Based on what I understand, you grew up in India and you moved to the US and eventually become product leader. And can you tell us quick early stage of your career and how you actually move up and also master those experience?
Absolutely. So, Nancy, I came from India. It was in India, I went to school in my native language, which is Telugu, and then I moved to the English medium and learned almost everything, relearned maths, science, and everything in English. And I did my bachelor's in engineering, in electrical engineering, and then I worked for a IT company for a year in India. And then I wanted to move to US to continue my learning, and I wanted to see the world. So that's how I came to US for my master's and went to USC and graduated in a tough recession time in 2009 and worked for a startup luckily in Michigan. That's where I learned my hustle and the hard hustle within startup, and I understood the funding was a challenging and how to navigate those and how to innovate in extreme pressure. That's when I got into Intel. Intel was working on Google TV at the time, and I was hired as a software engineer. Luckily, I got traveled with a lot of marketing people and creating a lot many new ideas into demos, turning them into demos, and I saw how a product evolves from demos to mock-ups to the MVPs and going into development and refining the product and understanding customer requirements and delivering on those promises that we made during trade shows and during customer meetings. That was an interesting learning for me, and that eventually fired me up to go move to some kind of a product marketing roles. And I eventually did my MBA at ASU and transitioned into product marketing roles, which was, I was lucky enough to have wonderful managers, and the leadership there at Intel was so good that they nurtured me and they trained me, and all the necessary skills I got them, and moved into the product manager roles. And I mean, whatever I did as an engineer in my prior roles actually became a foundation for my product manager roles at Intel.
So, Harry, you gave us a very actually dense career journey here. Let me really like dive deeper a little bit. First of all, I do resonate regarding 2009. 2009 is when I moved to US. There was no jobs out there. I just started my
Yeah.
PhD. I think I just aged myself. Because I started my PhD when I was 12. Okay, guys. Okay, so I went 2009 to my PhD. Yeah, there was no jobs out there. It was very tough, way tougher than today's economy. Seriously, you guys like
Hmm.
lots of young people never went through 2009. This is like right. What we have is that literally nothing. It's 10 times better than
Yeah.
2009 back then. Okay, but like both of us went through really tough journey and also give us those kind of resiliency.
We learned hard way.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So Harry, you brought up some very interesting point in your career journey here. So you mentioned that you actually become a part leader. You also got an MBA. You yourself also did an engineering background. So can you tell us how exactly you made the shift? Do you think was because your engineering background help you become product manager, or do you think it was because you actively trying to gain different experiences and trying to figure out how to pivot, how to repackage your story? So tell us more. What happened make you a product manager?
Hmm. So there were, when I look back, there were multiple reasons, Nancy. One,
Mm-hmm.
I come from a business background. My father was an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw him rise. And the second one, when I came to US in 2007 for my master's, 2008, iPhone was launched.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fascinated by how Steve Jobs was presenting it, and I wanted to buy the first iPhone. Um, but at the time, I did not know that I'm I'm motivated and attracted towards a great product in making, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over time, as an engineer, I saw how the Apple and iPhone actually progressed into one of the best products in the world, and that kind of fascinated me and wanted me to. I mean, it actually inspired me into what would it take to be a great product manager. I mean, if I look back,
Mm-hmm.
if there is any good, any wonderful product leader out there, that would be Steve Jobs. I mean, I wouldn't see him as a business leader. He had that product vision. He knows how to manage stakeholders to get things together, and he worked on a product with engineers. He was telling the story for multiple times to various different kinds of audience and bringing it to life. He was putting together the mock-ups. He did the MVPs by himself, and he did almost like every product leader would do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I see a quote, and they're saying that when you are creating a software company, people thought you're doing sales marketing. In reality, you're not. You're actually doing the product work. As long as you have the
Exactly.
best product, and then your
Hmm.
sales marketing is easier. Or you have a shitty product, your sales marketing will really hard to sell. You're right. So Steve Jobs actually create lots of amazing, groundbreaking technology and new devices, new product today. And
That's
this
right.
also, mhm, go ahead.
Yeah, one other thing I noticed, Nancy, you just touched it. Great businesses are not just the businesses, they are great products. If you look at all Warren Buffett's acquisitions, he acquired Gillette, a great product,
Mm-hmm.
and he acquired Duracell, which is a wonderful product,
Mm-hmm.
and he acquired the Heinz ketchup. That's a wonderful product. He acquired Coke. Is there any product that can beat the Coke in the value proposition or any of those things? I mean, it's amazing products that he's acquiring. That's also a fascinating idea.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Pepsi's not as good as Coke. Let's continue.
I'm a code
It's,
guy anyway. Yeah.
yeah. So this also leads to another great segue into product leader. We talk about lots of amazing CEOs themselves. They are the product leader, choosing and creating the best product, right? So now let's talk about product leaders' roles and responsibilities in Fortune 500 companies. Yourself have working for several Fortune 500 company as a product leader with years of experience. So can you tell us, so what does a product leader do in Fortune 500 company? Is this like playing politics or is it launching product? Or when you're really senior, you only set strategies, you have someone else work on the details. So tell us more. What does a product manager do, product leader do in a Fortune 500 companies?
hmm Um, yeah. In any company, I mean, the product varies from product management, or the orgs vary from company to company.
Mm-hmm,
At least I've worked at Fortune 500 companies, the big ones. So all these companies, the big ones at least, they have a lot of silos, right? And you called it politics, but that's how they function. I don't see it as politics, but it's the organizational behavior in general. And there are the product manager role, or a product owner. There are technical product managers. They can be individual contributors and heads down in whatever the product or a feature that you are working on, prioritizing and working with engineers. That is one way to look at product manager. And if that product manager wants to go into product leadership, there are a couple of skills that are required in for Fortune 500 companies, especially the big ones with a lot of silos,
mm-hmm.
right? One is the stakeholder communication,
Yeah.
a very important one, because oftentimes we run into team conflicts. I mean, conflicts need not be a street fight kind of a thing. It's mostly you are proposing a solution, and the other team might see it differently, and they may see it as a threat to whatever they were trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you bridge the gaps, right? That stakeholder communication and rallying the troops in a single direction. You need to have product vision, and how would my product going to look like in 5 years from now, a kind of a strategic planning skills. And how would the revenue, how profitable are we going to be? Yeah, we are going to implement this feature, but what's the revenue associated with it, right? A product leader would typically own the P&L of that product. And oftentimes, depending on the company, they would lead a few more product managers as a direct reports. And depending on the company, the subject matter uh, experts, I mean, the expertise in that subject matter is also very important, because not having a finance experience or the understanding of the market, it's hard to lead that product, or to
Mm-hmm.
put together a vision for that product, right? So the subject matter expertise is also important. I mean, understanding all these things and playing all of these things was really helpful for me.
Um, are you saying that once you are very senior, like product leader or directors or VP level, you should stay in your lane in terms of leverage your existing product expertise without shifting into a new industry or new domain? Is that what you trying to allude into, or there are other ways to do it as a product leader?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a believer in compounding.
Mm,
What that means, it's not just the numbers that compound. It your experience compounds too.
mm-hmm,
And if you have experience in certain field or certain domain, it's ideal to use that experience as a leverage in your role to move up, or expand your leadership, right?
mm-hmm,
um, but that's not always possible for people when they wanted to make that career shifts. Even there, you have to find that bridge, the transferable skills, and how do you progress from what you really have.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me like give all the audience an example. I totally agree with you regarding use as a leverage, but your leverage you just very smart define your leverage so that you can jump through different industries, and also have a higher title. And for example, recently help someone who is our students inside the Prime Manager Accelerator. For example, she is a director at Samsung, and she was able to land another senior director job in another publicly traded company with a very different industry, not in consumer electronic. It's brand new industry in IoT and energy space, and also get paid a lot more than how much Samsung was paying her. Right now, because she's signing an offer right now, so I want to disclose too much information, but this already like happened in today's like senior PM or director or VP product, those kind of like level people landing jobs nowadays. But her leverage is not, hey, I work on consumer device, so I only apply for Apple or any kind of consumer device type of companies. And she was able to jump to brand new industry by leveraging her existing expertise, because her
Hmm.
expertise was actually growing and driving like significant revenue growth for like mobile applications for those like phones, Samsung phones, right? So she was able to use those revenue growth as well as those mobile experience to jump to brand new industry and help them to grow and double and triple their revenue as well, which also they literally made her amazing offer and literally convinced her to like jump to a brand new company, and also give her a significant career boost as well, and also way bigger roles and responsibility and not pay more. So all these are what you define as a leverage. Thank you for sharing all the insight with us. Yeah, everyone need to find the leverage so you
Sure.
can jump to a better company. So Harry, we just talked about hiring. So let's dive into a little bit deeper regarding hiring for product leader and director or VP type of roles out there. What hiring manager looking for when they're hiring such senior position? Because I know yourself went through lots of rounds of interviews to land your part leadership positions, also land multiple offers as a part leader. So can you tell us in today's job market, what hiring managers looking for when they hire part leaders or director or VP level candidates?
Hmm. Yeah, in today's market, I know the market has changed a bit, but in today's market, the hiring managers are more acting like snipers. They want to precisely find the right guy for the right job.
Don't get killed. Most people get killed when people
Right.
survive. Yes.
Um, so for someone hiring for a product leader roles, they're primarily looking for leadership skills. And what I mean by that, do you have experience leading, at least if not product managers, do you have experience leading a couple of engineers in the past? Or how do you know how to manage people, and how do you communicate well with others and identify common ground with different stakeholders in the org? Do you understand how to work with silos in the companies? And the second piece is how good are your storytelling skills are. When you go and present things to VPs and when you talk about numbers, and are you just doing a commentary, or are you putting together a story? And how good are your communication skills and storytelling abilities?
Mhm.
And the other thing they would look for, the size. If a company like $1 trillion market cap, if a company with $1 trillion market cap is the one that's interviewing you, they would look for what size of an impact you had in your previous experience. Do you know how to manage a $5 billion product, or have you managed 500K product? That's
Mhm.
the kind of, and especially in the leadership roles, that's what they look for, right? And the
Yeah.
domain specific, if you come from security background, for example, the computer security or network security, um, do you have that required domain knowledge, or what have been your accomplishments in the past in that domain? It could be your engineering background, or it could be some other background that relates to the specific domain that the interviewer is looking for. Some of the product management skills, you covered most of it already in PMA today, Nancy. I know you are also offering PMA for the director roles, and these are some of the skills they are looking for, and I'm sure your students would be learning these as well.
Yes, Harry, you're right. And actually, given there's so much more demand to become a senior PM or director level jobs out there, and we literally inside Permanent Accelerator, we also shifted with the market. And recently, we start our brand new free masterclass for senior director PMs out there. And it's called From Unstuck to Unstoppable, and how to transition into high impact senior PM within 60 days and using AI to shine, even in a tough job market. If anybody is very interested in learning all the latest market trends and how to leverage AI and portfolio strategies to become the next product directors or senior leaders out there. And you should definitely check out this free masterclass. I'm also going to link it in the description of the show note.
Wonderful, Nancy. Guys, you know where to go. If you want to move up into leadership roles on product, you know where to go.
Harry, it brought in something very interesting regarding what hiring manager looking for senior PM regarding your scope of work and leading a really big team out there. So can you be specific regarding how you really demonstrate leadership potential? Because lots of senior PM out there, they're leading okay size team, but hiring manager looking for as big a scope impact as possible. So how exactly people is able to demonstrate your leadership skills and really owning bigger responsibilities? Because I think there's a chicken eggs problem. If you never really been able to play in a level as a product leader, how would you able to land the next job as a product leader? And yourself has been very successful jumping career each time. If you see your LinkedIn, you say from one position to another position, or with title shifting kind up. So how exactly you made it happen? What advice do you have for other people to really demonstrate your leadership skills so that you have the experience to level up to the next level?
Oh, that's a great question, Nancy. At least from my experience, what I saw was one thing a product manager should have is integrity towards their product, right? The product vision, that's one. How do they demonstrate leadership skills? Leadership skills, like any other soft skills, can be learned. The how do they demonstrate them? The best way to do that would be to take an initiative by yourself, and let's say identify a niche in your business unit, right? And try to identify, think more like an entrepreneur, and try to identify a product that can be sold to your existing customers,
Mm-hmm.
and take that initiative and start putting together a pitch and going to your leadership and try to collect numbers around it and put together a story and work with that's your ticket into demonstrating your storytelling capabilities, your business acumen and financial acumen, and how do you work with the different groups within the org, because once you have the initiative you are going to work with different groups,
Yeah.
right? And how do you convince them? How do you that's a great way to to demonstrate your leadership skills. At the same time, that's a great way to learn new things more about yourself, your company, and what are your objectives of your VPs or senior VPs, and how to put together something the customer would be willing to buy.
Mm-hmm.
um, I think that's a great way.
Yeah, it looks like that's a lot of internal like sales leadership skills. So you create something
Right.
new, so you get executive buy-in and you will become the leaders for that specific domain. And then you leverage grow up your experience and then you go out for interview for senior PM or director level job as you go. Perfect.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's curiosity and continuous learning.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the directors level people who are trying to level up in their careers, in you help them repackage their stories and how to put together their case for the next level. That's wonderful.
Yeah, we are actually very happy now. That do you know what happened since the new market shift? And more than half of our students nowadays are senior PMs or product leader or directors. We even have people from Google working for Google for like 12 years and join PMA today because nowadays the senior PM market is very competitive nowadays. People just want to all level up their career,
Hmm.
and in today's very like shifting economy right now. Yes, the whole thing has shifted. So everybody who's interested in PM Accelerator, feel free to go to the link in the description show note and attend our free senior PM product masterclass and learning for free. Harry, you talk a lot about very important thing I really love, which is curiosity and continuous learning. So what do you think of the importance of growth mindset and how do you actually grow yourself personally and professionally, and any resources you recommend people to use?
Hmm. um, yeah, the growth mindset is super important. The reason I say that, if you look at the financial statements, right, there are only two ways companies grow their bottom line. One is growing the top line revenue or cutting costs. There are companies who adopt cutting costs, and there are companies which adopt the growing top line revenue. I mean, the companies that grow their top line revenue, you'll find a lot of opportunities to grow your career. They're always coming out with new products, and they're always expanding their market. And as a product manager or anyone willing to move to the director and the levels, you'll find a lot of opportunities there. I mean, there is a saying, right? If you don't grow, you'll die. So it's important to have that growth mindset and continuously upskilling yourself and moving up.
Love this. So, do you have any recommended resources or books or podcast or anything you recommend people to study and learn so that they can grow themselves?
Yeah, I've come across one great, wonderful book from Tony Fadell that's called The Build. If you go on Amazon, I'll give you the link to Nancy. You can put it in the description. It's a wonderful book. It gave me insights to how he worked with Steve Jobs in developing the iPhone. It's a wonderful book. I would recommend every product manager to go through it.
This is awesome. And I also believe that learning from the best company, the best CEOs in the world is going to make you a great product leaders for sure. I'm definitely going to link it in the description of this show notes. So Hari, let me ask you a final question, which I ask all my guests. How can people find you and follow you?
Yeah, I'm on almost all the social platforms, and especially people can connect me on LinkedIn. I'll give you a link to my account, and if you look for my last name or my first name, I'm sure you'll be able to find it.
This is awesome. Definitely going to link in the description show notes. And so for all the senior product manager or aspiring product manager out there who listen to today's podcast, and we have shared so much great insight regarding how you are able to leverage your career to become the product leader or director today. If you think any other senior product manager, director, or even aspiring PM is able to benefit from today's podcast, make sure to share this episode and tag us. It's literally going to be our greatest motivation to bring amazing guests like Hari to give you the best free education in our Product Insider podcast. If you like today's episode, make sure to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or any other platforms you're listening and like this video as well, so that we can continue to create such amazing content like this. This is Dr. Nancy Lee from pmaccelerator.io. And make sure to check out our next episode right here. And thank you for joining us, Hari, today.
Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate the opportunity.
Perfect.